Hello everyone, welcome back to 31 Days of Q&A. Today's question for day 22. Do you draw more fan art or more original art, and why? I absolutely, undeniably draw much more original art, and it's because it's just what I love to do. That is the extremely short answer. I can expand on that. So, it's kind of funny that fan art in a lot of online communities, especially when it comes to selling art and art business, which are the type of communities I'm in because it's what I do for a living, it's a very hot topic, as it turns out. And I have gotten a little bit heated about the subject as well, and I'm going to avoid talking about legalities and stuff like that if I can, and instead focus more on my personal reasons for why I don't really draw fan art. As mentioned before, one of the main reasons that I got into artwork was so that I could put down onto paper the ideas and the visions that I've already got. And those don't involve characters that I didn't create, which is exactly what fan art is. You know, you see Spider-Man and you draw Spider-Man, and that's totally fine. But when I sit down and I think of artwork, nobody else's IP comes to mind. Like, there is no movie, there's no cartoon, there's no show, video game that I feel the need to replicate in my style. That's not to say that I've never drawn fan art. I've actually have drawn fan art. And when I first started doing conventions, I thought it was a requirement because I didn't understand the way that conventions worked. But I did do a little bit of fan art. It was mostly like animes, stuff like that. I only drew fan art of animes that I personally really enjoyed, but no matter what I did, if I drew a piece of fan art, I would always go back to my own creations because that's what I enjoyed the most. Another sort of reason that I don't indulge in fan art, and if I do, I generally don't post it online. I don't share it anywhere else because it's really only for me. Like, I'm not ever going to make prints of it. I'm not ever going to sell it. I don't want to. That wasn't the reason that I made a piece of fan art. It's usually just like something funny that I thought, or it's like, oh, what if this character was doing this, or I want this character to be doing this, and so, I'll draw it out, I'll paint it or whatever. I'll get the enjoyment out of it that I wanted, and then I'll put it aside somewhere else, then I'll start back into the other ideas and illustrations that I've been wanting to do. And that's very rare. It's not like I've got a huge stack of fan art somewhere, like, hidden in my studio. I really don't at all. I'm talking about, like, 2 times a year, I might draw a piece of fan art. And the reason I don't post them online is because they're not my creations. Like, I drew them, they're my paintings or my artwork, but what is depicted in that artwork is not mine. And what tends to happen is if I do, or at least when I used to post a piece of fan art online, it would get a whole bunch of attention. It would have people asking for prints. Will they buy it? I would get tons of likes or shares or whatever on it. And then I'd go back and I would be like, okay, enough of that. Put that to the side. I'm going to get back into creating my own work now. And I would post that. And it's understandable that the fan art would get about 5 times as much attention and reaction than my own work would, because it's an established IP. It's something that somebody else worked on. They did all the work to get that character to be that recognizable and loved already before I came along and drew it. But it wasn't helping me or my artwork or my business in any way whatsoever whenever I posted it. And it also kind of made me feel a little bad that this other random piece that I maybe didn't even put that much time into got such a reaction compared to my original artwork would. So just looking at it from a practical standpoint, business-wise, there's no point in really posting and sharing stuff like that. And that's just me. I mean, I'm talking about just my own business because I'm an independent artist. Like, I don't do, like, fan art's not part of my portfolio in any way. It's not something that I want to be represented by. So for me, it just makes sense to not really post it or share it. And I don't enjoy doing it as much. So I think it makes sense. So that is that, and I will wrap it up there. Holy cow, have I been rambling. There is some stuff brewing to be launching in January, so if you would like to not miss that, be sure to follow my social medias, which I will link down below, Patreon, or I've got a newsletter that you can sign up for, which I will shoot out some of the bullet points of what's coming up, so be sure to sign up for that, only if that is something that interests you, of course. If not, then hopefully I will see you around here and in the next video. Have a good day. Bye.